The act of listening is the root of all knowing. It is how the cosmos speaks to itself through itself. From a deep and interconnected philosophical vantage, life is not an accidental byproduct of blind forces, but the self-realizing journey of light becoming aware of itself. In this view, evolution is not just mechanical adaptation, but the progressive unfolding of embedded awareness. Consciousness is not simply a late-stage phenomenon of complex brains. Rather, it may be an omnipresent substrate of existence, distributed across scales, hidden within matter, encoded into the architecture of life from its earliest molecular seeds. What if the universe listens to itself through life? What if each living cell is an antenna tuned to the symphony of existence? And what if mitochondria, the tiny organelles known as the powerhouses of the cell, are ancient, intelligent listeners, luminous messengers in the story of light becoming life? This chapter explores the idea that mitochondria are not simply biochemical engines, but microcosmic centers of awareness, and that learning to listen to them might hold the key not only to understanding the hidden intelligence of the body, but to reawakening a broader cosmological unity that modern thought has forgotten. The origin story of mitochondria is both scientifically extraordinary and philosophically profound. Around 2 billion years ago, a pivotal event in the history of life occurred. An ancient archaeal cell engulfed a proteobacterium. Instead of digesting it, the two entities entered into a symbiotic relationship. The bacterium became the mitochondrion, offering immense energy production in exchange for protection. And this partnership gave rise to all complex life. But this event was not simply a practical alliance, it was a cosmological moment. It represented a fusion of separate identities into a collective organism. The individual became the interdependent. A new level of order emerged. This moment of endosymbiosis mirrors a deeper truth, that life evolves not by domination but by communion, and that awareness expands not through isolation but through integration. The emergence of mitochondria as internal energy partners was the beginning of a vast network of interior listening, one in which matter became increasingly attuned to itself. Mitochondria, though reduced in autonomy, retained their own DNA, a remnant of their former independence. This mitochondrial DNA still speaks in a dialect separate from the nuclear genome, hinting at a plurality of intelligence within the cell. From the outset, then, the very structure of life is polyphonic, multiple centers of agency communicating, adapting, listening to one another. Mitochondria do not merely produce energy, they translate cosmic energy into biological experience. They take oxygen and nutrients, refined starlight and earth, and transform them into ATP, the currency of cellular life. Every thought you have, every beat of your heart, every act of attention is powered by this inner light. But what is energy in this context? Is it simply chemical potential, or is it a carrier of intention and information? From the perspective of many ancient traditions, Vedanta, Taoism, indigenous cosmologies, energy is not lifeless. It is vital force, prana, chi, ruach, mana. It moves with pattern and rhythm, purpose and memory. Modern systems biology is now recognizing this too. Energy is not neutral. It flows through informational structures, obeys feedback loops, and sustains adaptive intelligence. Mitochondria sit at the center of these flows. They are more than producers, they are interpreters. They read metabolic signals, detect stress, determine when a cell should grow, divide, or die. They participate in immune regulation, inflammatory response, neuroplasticity, hormonal balance, and even in cognition and mood. They're not passive batteries, but active sensing agents. They respond to the inner and outer environment with astonishing precision. Here, the line between energy and awareness begins to blur. Cells are not isolated factories. They are vibrant, interconnected microcosms. Each contains thousands of mitochondria. Some cells even contain hundreds of thousands, and these mitochondria are in constant communication with the nucleus and with each other. They form networks that share resources, relay signals, and adjust behavior based on context. This behavior resembles a kind of distributed cognition, not thought in the human sense, but pattern recognition, adaptive learning, responsiveness. It's a biological version of listening. And this listening is multi-layered. At the molecular level, mitochondria detect shifts in redox balance and ATP levels. At the cellular level, they influence gene expression and immune signaling. At the systemic level, they participate in hormonal, neurological, and metabolic regulation. At the evolutionary level, they adapt epigenetically across generations. Each level is both autonomous and interdependent, a holographic fractal of intelligence, echoing the structure of ecosystems, brains, societies, and galaxies. The intelligence of life does not reside in a central processor. It emerges from relational listening at every level. To be alive is to listen, not just with ears, but with membranes, molecules, mitochondria. Listening is the receptive mode of intelligence. It is how an organism senses the world before it acts. It is how balance is maintained, how patterns are learned, how meaning is made. Listening precedes language, it precedes cognition. It is the foundation of awareness itself. Before the brain evolved, mitochondria were already listening, reading chemical gradients, adapting to oxidative stress, signaling when to initiate apoptosis or survival strategies. Even at the microbial level, listening is present. Bacteria engage in quorum sensing, communicating with chemical messages to determine collective behavior. Fungi form vast mycelial networks that distribute information across forests. Plants respond to sound vibrations. The world is alive with silent subterranean communication, a bioacoustic symphony with mitochondria as inner tuning forks. To listen is to align with a larger whole, to hear the signal amidst the noise. In this sense, listening is spiritual, not in a religious sense, but as the act that connects the part to the whole. It is the foundation of empathy, healing, cooperation, and consciousness itself. If mitochondria are indeed intelligent participants in the story of awareness, then how we treat them may reflect how we treat our own consciousness. Modern lifestyles, characterized by chronic stress, processed food, electromagnetic overload, and sleep disruption, are antagonistic to mitochondrial health. But more than just biochemical disruption, this is a failure of listening to the body, to nature, to the inner rhythms of life. Restoring mitochondrial vitality may require not just medicine, but philosophy, a reattunement to cycles, slowness, breath, presence. Practices like fasting, cold exposure, deep sleep, forest walking, and mindful breathing all nourish mitochondria, not just physically, but energetically. This is not merely self-care, it is a cosmological ethic. To listen to your mitochondria is to listen to an ancient intelligence that predates the brain, that links you to the first stirrings of life, to the fire of the stars, to the breath of the earth. The future of human evolution may not lie in further technological acceleration, but in a deep biological reconnection. If mitochondria are the light within, then listening to them is the practice of becoming inwardly luminous, of learning how to live in tune with the vast intelligent web of life. What if at every level of reality, awareness is not a product of matter, but its purpose? What if the universe is not a cold mechanism, but a listening field? What if mitochondria are not just power stations, but nodes in the network of self-knowing light, the first agents of a cosmic consciousness learning how to see, feel, suffer, dance, and dream through biology? To walk the path of listening is to return to this origin. It is to remember that life does not begin with dominance, but with attunement, that the first step toward awakening is not speaking, but hearing the pulse of your breath, the signal of your cells, the song of your mitochondria. In the end, to live wisely is not to master life, but to participate in it, to be a conscious part of the ongoing self-remembering of the cosmos. To listen, then, is to become light again.